So the much awaited by a couple of people anyway, Rough Rider Carbon Half Hawk in the so-called Bonestag Cinnamon Bone, I believe is what they call it. Cinnamon Bonestag, classic Cinnamon Bonestag, with carbon steel blade. And I believe it's T10 carbon. But I know at least one other person was waiting for this. And then I saw somebody posted it on YouTube ahead of me, and I was like, oh, somebody else beat me to see to seeing that that knife was available. Well, I better go get one. So I went ahead and ordered one. Um, Rough Rider seems to be getting their shit together these days because I will say that the past few that I've gotten have been very good, especially for the fact that they are less than $20. This one was $17. This is the Half Hawk, which is this like sway back sheep's foot type knife here. Um, and this one is a single bladed one. Like I mentioned, this one is in the carbon steel, which I believe is a T10 carbon steel. I don't think I can get it to say carbon steel because it's so polished. Let me see if I can rub it off on my shirt here. See if you can see it. Yeah, see, it says carbon steel, so therefore you know it's carbon steel. You know I'm not lying to you. But I think it's T10 carbon steel, although I'm not sure. I don't have a whole lot of experience with Rough Riders carbon steel because I haven't carried any of them enough to be familiar with it because, well, I just have knives that make me happier than Rough Rider knives, I guess. Is how I'll say that. You know, Rough Rider's an okay knife, but when I have all these Great Eastern cutleries and all these like French knives and German knives and I mean, even case knives and bokers and all these other knives that I have to carry uh, as an option. It's like, why would I carry a Rough Rider? But I do like to have them because I feel like it's a good way into the traditional knife world for somebody who's starting out. Because this is a $17 knife. This one's put together very well. The action on it's a little not great. It closes okay. It opens okay. It's a little gritty. I have tried to put some mineral oil in it to try to resolve that. I'm sure if I sat here with some mineral oil in the pivot and opened and closed the blade 10,000 times, it would smooth out. I wasn't going to do that for this video though. So I'm sure over time it will smooth out, and that's a pretty common thing with slip joint knives is they'll get like machining um, materials in there, like dust and polishing compound, all sorts of stuff in the pivot area, and you have to kind of flush that stuff out. um, or maybe it's just some rough machining, and after it's being opened and closed a bunch of times it'll smooth out. But either way, that's a pretty common thing with slip joint knives, so certainly not a big deal or anything. I do wish that Rough Rider would stop with the match strike nail pulls. I'm not a huge fan of it. I guess somebody is, or maybe Rough Rider just thinks somebody is, or maybe they think it makes their knife look more expensive. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I just want a nail nick, man. Just give me a nail nick. Just a regular old nail nick is fine. It does say Rough Rider here on the tang, obviously. No R stamp on the bolsters. That'll make a lot of people happy. No shield. Um, and this is, of course, a like sway back frame, so it's just a bare headed, bare ended. It's a bare butt pattern without a bolster down here. Um, and put together fairly well. These bone covers have black G10, I think, liners under them to keep it looking more uniform and everything. I don't really see any gaps in the construction, so that's nice. This knife doesn't have any blade play that I can feel, so that's nice. Um, it didn't come super sharp, but it's certainly sharp enough to cut something. So I'm not going to knock on points for that or anything. And I'm sure if I just touch it up, even like a strap or something, it would be nice and smooth and as sharp as you would want it to be. But yeah, pretty well put together this one. And like I said, the past few Rough Riders that I've gotten have been pretty well put together. I really think that brands like Case really need to step up their game because this is a knife that I could get probably, four of these for the price of, well, three of these for the price of what I would consider to be your average case knife, and this knife's put together better. Of course, this knife is assembled by 13-year-olds in China, so maybe some morally ambiguous stuff going on there. But it's assembled well by 13-year-olds in China. So I will say that Case really needs to get their quality control together, or they're going to go out of business, unfortunately. Although they do have a lot of dedicated collectors, so maybe they won't go out of business. I don't know. I like Case. I wish they would get their crap together because it's a Pennsylvania company. Um, and I would like to see them do well. So it'd be nice if they'd get their stuff together and produce a knife that isn't a disappointment, I guess is the main thing. I did see that they released a small Congress for their Volt knife this year, and I won't get one because I'm not interested in a small Congress. Um, I want them to do a Daddy Barlow. They're not going to do that probably, but that's what I want from them. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Case. Rough Rider is putting out decent knives now for less than $20. And with Smoky Mountain Knife Works launching the Rough Rider Reserve brand, which is a higher end, more premium knife for around the same price as a Case knife. Um, Case just, I need to step up their game. But yeah, I've been impressed with Rough Rider over the past, year or so. The actionless knife does suck right now, but like I said, it will probably smooth out. Overall, pretty happy with this knife. Glad I ordered one. Does feel good in hand, like all these swayback frames do. The one thing that I will say that some people have pointed out, or at least one person has pointed out in his videos, I don't remember if it's Mr. Barlow or Thrifty Knifty. I feel like it's one of those two guys. I get them confused sometimes. I think it might have been Mr. Barlow. But this stuff, this black stuff on here, this isn't actual like burning or dye or anything. It's like a paint or something almost, because it'll rub off. And I think I can probably demonstrate that. Maybe not on my finger, but let me see if I can get something to rub it off on. Let me see if I can grab a rag here real quick, or a little tissue. I'll just grab a tissue off the floor. But if you rub this black stuff will rub off because it's not dyed, it's not burnt or anything. It's like some sort of weird coating, like paint or something. Not sure what it is, but it does rub off. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be using this knife to cut food. Maybe be careful, or if you're going to carry this in some really nice jeans or something, it could mess up the pocket of your jeans. So just some things to keep in mind. Not something I'm worried about, but if you're somebody who has, some nice pants or something, you probably don't want to carry this in those because it might stain them. I'm not sure what this stuff is, but it does rub off, not really easily, but easily enough that I'd be concerned about it ruining like the inside of your pocket or something. But anyway, pretty well made knife for $20. I'm certainly happy with it. I'm happy with how it looks and everything, and I'm really happy that Rough Rider started making these carbon knives with bone handles because that's what I really wanted from them. I'm hoping they'll start releasing some other bone handles with carbon steel because that would be even better. But we'll see what happens. I would love to see some Barlows that weren't clip points too, maybe like a spear point Barlow in carbon steel with bone handles. That would be really cool. That probably won't happen, but that would be really cool. But anyway, it's going to be it for this video on this Rough Rider half hawk in the classic cinnamon Bonestag with carbon steel. Um, Fairly decent knife, especially for the price. I would recommend picking one up if you are a fan of the swayback frame, or if you just want to have another like cheap carbon steel knife that's made well. But anyway, it's gonna be it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good day.